Welcome to Spirits Podcast, a boozy dive into mythology, legends, and folklore. Every week we pour a drink and learn about a new story from around the world. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Julia.
This is episode 138, Your Urban Legends Part 24.
Wow, we're just getting up there in urban legends numbers, huh?
Boop-a-doop-boop-a-doop. Julia, sorry, there's a newsflash.
Whoa, what's happening?
Julia, did you know that Multitude launches a new show next week?
Whoa, tell me about that show, Amanda. I did know, but tell other people about the show.
I'm so excited, partly because it's a great show, and also partly because Eric Schneider is the person who had the idea and is going to be editing the show. And together with Eric Silver, designed this friendly debate show to be the coolest and, in my opinion, best debate show on the internet.
Yeah, it's not about who has the right answer. It's about who has the best answer. And that's the best kind of debate.
So every month, we debate a different set of 3 iconic things from pop culture or the world around us.
And we use the idea of pathos, logos, and ethos, aka the head, the heart, and the gut, to figure out what's the best thing.
Absolutely. So it's all your favorite Multitude hosts on the same feed. Every month is like a different round. So the first 3 weeks of that month, each person talks about their pick and sort of defends to the other 2 why theirs is the best using the definitive survey of greatness, which is 7 ideas and prompts that very hilariously makes us sort of defend our pick from different angles.
It's called Head, Heart, Gut, in case we didn't mention it before. And there's only one way to listen to it. Amanda, tell them how to listen to it.
That's to join the Multi-Crew. This is our new membership program that lets our community, you, the listeners, fund our new work directly. Because, listen, this is the deal. We are growing. We have a studio now. We want to do more and more stuff in our office. We have big plans. We have big ideas. We're all in the same room now all the time. And we have amazing ideas that we want to bring to the world. But the way that works is we need money to do it. We need to pay people for their time. We need to pay other people to make art and music and act and do all the kinds of things we need them to do. So we could wait for, a giant media company or podcast app to pay us to do a show.
Amanda could go on Shark Tank.
I definitely have some floral blazers that I would love to wear in front of Mark Cuban.
You do.
Or we could depend on you. We could be powered by you. So the Multi-Crew is a membership, and your money every month goes toward making Multitude better, making our office better, bringing in events, making even more amazing podcasts.
So for $10 a month, you get Head, Heart, Gut, but you also get pilots for upcoming shows that we're working on. You get exclusive live show audio, just all of these cool things that you can't get anywhere else.
And to convince you that Head, Heart, Gut is as amazing as we know it is, we're going to drop the first 4 episodes the last week of July. So July 29th, 30th, 31st, and August 1st. Then the show will air weekly, a new weekly show from Multitude, oh my God, starting on August 8th.
And if you have a little bit more money that you'd like to put Multitude's way, we have different tiers. You can do $20 a month where you get a glitter pin, you get live streams, you get voting rights on very important topics like upcoming shows and stuff
and also
like that.
What to name our many, many plants that we have in the
plants.
Office. Also, the pin is glitter. Did I mention that? It's a glitter pin.
It's a glitter pin. And then $50, you get enshrined on our founders wall. So you get a personalized signed poster. You get free tickets to all of our live shows, no matter where they are, which is very cool.
And we may or may not be kind of plotting a live social media honoring ceremony for everyone who joins the Founders Wall. We're so excited, nervous, but also stoked. So please go to multicrew.club for more information on the Multi-Crew and to sign up today. Yes, I am a URL monster. I was so excited to buy multicrew.club.
I was going to say, it's a very, very, very good URL, multicrew.club.
Awesome. So that is a Multi-Crew. We're so excited. Please click on there, if for no other reason than to see how I wrangled our website into looking pretty good. I'm pretty proud of it. So just check out my hard work, please.
Amanda, as always, just crushing the design.
Thank you. Oh, and the newsletter. All Multi-Crew members get a dope newsletter delivered to them every single week with even more photos, GIFs, movies, weird cropped shots of us when Silver takes candid photos of all of us. It's extremely good.
Yeah, it's excellent. As always, Amanda is doing a killer job.
Thanks, babe. But do you know who else is doing a killer job?
Would it be our new patrons?
Our new dang patrons, Sarah, Holly, and Andy, as well as our supporting producer level patrons, Philip, Eeyore, Skyla, Mercedes, Samantha, Danica, Marissa, Sammy, Josie, Neil, Jessica, and Phil Fresh, and Julia, our legend level patrons, those who are on the founders wall of Spirits Podcast virtually. Ayla, Cody, Mr. Folk, James, Jess, Sarah, Sandra, Audra, and Jack Marie.
Now, Amanda, I know you picked our beer for this episode that we would obviously share with our legends if they were here with us now. But tell me about that beer.
Yes, this is a beer from my new favorite brewery, which I know is hard to say, but this one really is. It's called Plan B, B-E-E. Their logo is a ding-dong bee, Julia. Yep. Adorable.
It's just meant for you.
It is a farm brewery in Poughkeepsie, New York. They raise bees, they grow things that they then put into their beer. And this week I got to try a plum beer that was so delicious. It had plum and then shiso leaf, which I didn't even know was a thing. It wasn't spicy. It was like herbal, and oh my God, it was so delicious. So I brought home several bottles from a barbecue they had at their brewery this past weekend and shared one with you because I love you.
It was very good. I appreciate you a whole bunch.
And Jules, let me know, this weekend, while you, like a smart person, were sheltering from the heat, whereas I was laying outdoors at a farm during it, what were you like watching, reading, listening to?
To be fair, I was not sheltering myself from the heat. I was working a wrestling show on Sunday in 99-degree weather in a non-air-conditioned warehouse.
Well, what did you do to recover afterward?
I've been watching Schitt's Creek on Netflix, which is very, very, very good. I feel like you recommended it to me. Friend of the show, Lauren Shippen, I think, recommended it to me. A bunch of people have. And it fits the trope that I love on television, where it's like awful people slowly getting better.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
It's like if you like Community, if you like The Good Place, and if you liked early Arrested Development, that's what the show feels like.
Or Parks and Rec, too. There's some definite Parks and Rec vibes.
That's fair. But yeah, it's fantastic. It's on Netflix. Go watch it now.
Beautiful. We already talked all about the multi-crew, so we will get, without further ado, to this week's episode. Thanks again to everyone who's joined. Thanks to everybody who will join. We're so excited. Now, enjoy Spirits Podcast, episode 138, Your Urban Legends, part 24.
Guys, it's Surgery Watch 2019.
No, I don't like that.
In the last 9 months, my girlfriend and both of our dogs have had surgery.
That's not good. That means you're next
What's
on the
gonna
list.
happen to me?
I don't like that.
No,
Please.
one must survive. One must remain to tell the story.
The surgery watch is all for me.
Oh, no.
What will happen to my body that requires surgery?
I hate it. No.
This is sad and I don't like this.
We've had back surgery. We've had broken leg surgery. We've had hernia surgery.
No.
And to be fair, it seems like it's de-escalating. Back surgery seems like the worst out of all of these.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yes.
So you'll probably like stub
I've
your toe.
seen the bills for all of them, and the back surgery was 100% much more expensive.
There you go.
And they have decreased in price. But where everyone's doing great.
Good.
Henry had his surgery yesterday for his hernia.
We wish him well.
And he's relaxing right now in the background.
Hi, Pup.
And yeah, he's doing fine. He's not
Here
going
we
to
are.
poop for like 4 days.
Sweet. That means he's not going to poop in the house.
Yeah, that's
Usually Herbie, though, huh?
No, that's usually Henry, but now it's like a wild card because we don't know when it's going to happen.
Gonna strike at any
It could
moment.
be any point after the anesthesia where it's like, I'm ready.
Well, do you want to start our Urban Legends episode with a little aperitif about a dog that has maybe a more serious problem, though not a health problem? Maybe?
Yes.
Sure.
All right.
Maybe. Now I'm confused.
So this comes from Kai, and he writes, "Hi, me and my girlfriend just finished racing to see who could send our email to you first for the record
That's
I won."
Adorable.
So
Very,
cute.
very cute.
So cute. So my story is that once one of my friends was very angry and she went outside to do homework when she started to hear growling, like animalistic growling. She could hear breathing and panting. The sound was behind or maybe above her. So naturally, she stood there being terrified of being eaten alive if she turned back or ran away. She says that she has been hearing the growling noise a lot recently. I guess she survived. I guess it was fine.
Yeah, jeez.
She says that things like this always happen to her when she's mad or upset, like she was when she first heard that growling noise. So naturally, the first thing I said, rather than comforting her, was, "We have to tell spirits." She has no idea what the podcast is. I think she still thinks I'm talking to ghosts. And suggested that maybe Charlie, her adorable floof dog, went through dog puberty. However, she says this was definitely not a dog doing the growling.
Do dogs go through dog puberty? Is that a thing?
No, I think people spay or neuter them, then they don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like a dog's bark does decrease in pitch as it gets older.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Well, she did mention that something
On this episode of How Things Work, dogs' voices getting
We
deeper.
speculate
Dog
wildly.
vocal cords.
Love it. Well, she did mention that something had happened to Charlie earlier, though. She was home alone, and she heard Charlie Borkin, as she says. He was
Borkin.
running up and down the stairs, making noise and going berserk. She heard some other noises too. So when she came out, she saw Charlie in the corner of the room. She couldn't see anything in front of him, but then suddenly he lunged back as if someone was picking him up and pulling him backward. However, Charlie's the kind of floof who loves people and jumps on them, if anything. She believes that she might have seen a hand, but no one was home. And disconcertingly, nothing else happened after that. So very intelligently, my friend took 2 days' supplies worth of food up to her room and didn't leave until her family came home.
Correct. Good choice. I think I would leave. I mean, I think isolating yourself, good thing. Isolating yourself that is not in the house, better thing.
I just liked the feeling that, like, this is a 2-day kind of problem. And in fact, the friend said, quote, "I'm only smart when it comes to not being murdered by Satan's cousins."
And that's true.
Kai finishes up with, "This all happened, by the way, within days of each other, and of course I will use it as an excuse to make her listen to spirits."
See, this is the kind of wisdom that I want our listeners to have.
Oh, yeah.
Just, I don't care how smart you are in any other capacity. Just be smart enough not to get murdered by ghosts, please.
Yeah. I loved the wisdom and the planning here. I loved the race to send us an email. We love the long
Very
emails,
important.
but we love emails most of all. So do that. And of course, like, use the paranormal as a reason to listen to us. It's great.
That's true. Do it.
Thanks, Kai.
I have a story about a spooky kid.
Ooh.
Ooh, my favorite.
This comes from Dan, and he writes, "Hey there. I wanted to share our spooky kid story that happened 2 years ago. It's all true, but I've changed the names of the kids out of respect for the survivors."
Yes.
No, survivors is bad. That
Yes,
means
Dan, yes.
non-survivors.
This story happened in my adopted home of a small seaside town / big village, Sherry's County, Dublin, Ireland.
I always like the difference in what a town / a village is, especially in like non-America, because it's used interchangeably here. But it seems much more important in other places.
Very true. I can't really speak to town versus village, except that village is so quaint. And when people say that they're going like down the village, I just find it really adorable. And my favorite part of Irish vernacular is that everything is just down or up the road. Just down the road. It could be 50 kilometers. It could be 500 feet or meters, whatever. You're never going to know. Down the road,
just
up
that
the
one
road,
road, though.
Round the road. Yeah. Amazing.
As long as it's one road, though. As long as you don't have to like make a turn, and then you're good.
It's true.
We're fine. The town has a spooky past going back to the year 432 when St. Patrick returned to Ireland. That's probably 1432.
No.
Or is St. Patrick from
Oh,
400?
no.
432.
Old, Eric. He
I
old.
don't know. I don't listen to this podcast, so I have no idea about the history of
VV
stuff.
old. As we learned from Caroline Crampton.
Yes.
A VV old there.
When St. Patrick returned to Ireland and cursed the locals for stealing and eating his goat. But he forgave them, so Julie was not prepared for that part of the story.
Nope.
But he forgave them, so by and large, so we're cool with the supernatural world.
Sure, that's
Oh,
how
and this
that
is the
works.
town where the goat eating happened.
I believe so.
Love it.
It's gotta be. Otherwise, what's the point?
Listen, that's Irish famous. It really is.
We live in a new housing estate a mile or so outside the village, out by the prehistoric cairns. It was a planning condition for the houses that line of sight was maintained between the cairns.
Oh, no. You know what that means? It was a building code that the houses couldn't block the cairns from seeing each other. It sounds like you are setting yourself up for some like otherworldly energy to manifest and like make stuff happen.
There's some fake bullshit about to happen. I agree.
This is intense. Maybe this is like how Icelandic road planners won't disturb rocks
Yep.
with trolls living in them.
Yep.
I guess they are being careful not to upset the fairies, so no reason to expect anything spooky.
There we go. Amanda did that thing again that she always
Right?
does.
Hard disagree on that reasoning. I think that's the number one reason to expect something spooky. Our 2 kids soon befriended 2 neighbors, Charlie, aged 8, and Molly, aged 5. On the 3rd night after moving into their new house, there was an unsettling sense of impermanence. The house smelled new. New carpets, paint, and glue. Boxes were still unpacked, and Charlie was not yet in his bedroom. He was camping down on a mattress in a living room with a glass door. I'm so excited for this one.
I hate this. I hate this already. Just remember that this story started with quote-unquote survivors.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there.
Very creepy framing.
Around midnight, he was awoken by a slow knock noise on the door. The knocking continued. So being an enterprising kid, he got out of bed to see who was at the door. On the other side of the glass was a little girl in an old-fashioned white nightgown, slowly knocking. Of course, it was his little sister, Molly.
God damn it.
Charlie opened the door, but before he could speak, Molly opened her eyes wide to just show the whites of her eyes. Charlie Scooby-Dooed upstairs to his
Smart.
parents' room and jumped into their bed.
Smartest thing Charlie's done so far.
He was explaining the story to his mommy when Molly walked in the room slowly and deliberately. Molly stretched out her arms and pointed at the bed and calmly said in her cute little girl voice, "Charlie will be first."
No!
Molly
Very
walked
bad.
Molly walked out of the room and put herself to bed, and in the morning remembered nothing. She had never slept long before, nor has she since.
That's a great sort of child development milestone. If you're old enough to give forth prophecies in the middle of the night, you are old enough to tuck yourself back in.
That's true. She's got you there.
She's a sweet kid, and there's nothing spooky about her at all. I mean, disagree.
Except
Except for the mysterious disappearance of snacks when she calls around our house. We dunce curse her for it.
that's an extremely pleasant email. Obviously scary as shit, but like well written. Thank you.
Horrifying, but also good. I have one about a house and a ghost.
I want to hear it.
Excellent.
So this email comes from Ray, and Ray writes, "So this story was actually told to me by my stepmother, who lives in my birth city of Boise, Idaho, a wonderful little desert town not asimilar from Night Vale. My biological mother and my dad split up when I was little, so I spent every summer and holiday break ages 4 to 17 in Boise. My dad and my stepmom started remodeling the house here and there when I was about 7, and a couple of years ago, my stepmom told me that our house was haunted before they started the remodel, and that she had seen a ghost in the house. The story that she told me was that one day she walked into our kitchen and saw a rather portly man with a beard standing in the door frame from the door that led to the backyard from the kitchen."
When was this again?
When this person, before they were 7, apparently.
Wasn't me then.
It wasn't you. You're going to appreciate that it wasn't you in this next part.
Oh, great.
It is also worth mentioning that the man was totally naked.
Although, you know what? I did get
Oh.
up to some crazy stuff in Boise one time.
She only saw him for a moment, but she told me that it felt like her surroundings had changed as well, almost as if they were in a different time period, but only in that moment. After she and my dad started remodeling the house, she never saw him again. A little bit of Boise history. The town used to primarily be a farming community in the early 1900s, especially on the hill where we live. So my stepmom figured that the man must have been a farmer who used to live on our property. I always knew that the house was old. I would sometimes find super old toy cars buried in the dirt while playing outside as a kid. My favorite part of this story is that my stepmom said that he was probably naked because this was his home, and it was a place that he felt comfortable.
You know what? That is genuinely the purest and least creepy reason that a ghost could be naked in your house. It really is.
The next sentence is, "The thing is, my stepmom is the same way. In the summertime, she'll walk around the house in the mornings totally naked and regularly draw baths for herself in the bathtub we have in the backyard and just do what feels comfortable. I feel like this ghost farmer and my stepmom would have gotten along. Anyway, keep up the good work. I've been a big fan of the podcast since almost day one, and you guys are keeping me company while I make zines about vampires. Love y'all."
Oh man, please show us some photos of your zines on Twitter. We would love to retweet that.
See those zines.
Yeah.
We would love to see those zines.
I definitely want vampire zines.
Yeah, I have a zine collection here in the Multitude office.
Yes, please send us a zine. We'll pay for it. Just let us know where we can buy it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We should commission a zine.
That would be super
Yes, we
cool.
Why haven't we done that's so obvious.
I love that idea. Now, after the Bell House, we have to dream bigger, you know?
I know.
So naturally we've got to do
Gotta do it.
small local
We gotta get into
publishing.
print, baby. Embrace that
Baby.
old
Print.
media. Well, that story about a ghostly kitchen reminded me that I need a quick refill. Will you guys come with me?
I sure will.
Yeah, let's go grab some beer.
Julia, do you notice something different about me this week?
Well, your hair looks really nice.
Thanks.
Your skin is flawless as always.
Wow.
Your eyes look really, really pretty right now.
Thank you, because I got my first new pair of eyeglasses in 4 years from our new sponsor, Warby Parker.
Yo, I love Warby Parker.
Now, y'all have probably heard of Warby Parker before. They are trying to bring like boutique quality eyewear at a revolutionary price point, aka an affordable price point. And I was so stoked when Warby got in touch with us because, again, haven't gotten an eye exam or updated my glasses in 4 years. And I have done probably thousands of hours of reading in the time between 2015 and now. And I definitely needed a new prescription. Warby makes it super easy to get an eyeglass Warby makes it super easy to get your prescription renewed or updated at their stores, or you can go to an eye doctor, take, Julia, a photo with your phone of your prescription and upload it to their app or their website, or you can email it to them. You can also call them. Like, there's lots of ways to get in touch. But point being, it has never been easier for me to get anything filled with any kind of prescription than it was to get these glasses.
That's fantastic.
Their aesthetic is vintage inspired with a contemporary twist. Every single pair of glasses has anti-reflective lenses, so you don't get that glare, which everyone hates. And their stuff is available exclusively through Warby Parker's website and their retail stores. Glasses start at $95. There's not a lot of like BS and upcharge. You can genuinely get a pair of glasses at $95, which is pretty amazing.
I have a pair that make me look like a 1960s librarian.
It's absolutely wonderful. And best of all, if you're not quite sure what you look like in different pairs, because it's really hard to look at a website and see what your face would look like on it, they have an iPhone X app where you can like have a virtual try-on right in your home, or you can have a physical try-on. They have a free home try-on program where you order 5 pairs of glasses, try them for 5 days, absolutely free, no credit card, no nothing. It ships free and includes a prepaid return shipping label. So go to warbyparker.com/spirits to order your free home try-ons today.
That's warbyparker.com/spirits. I will say the home try-on is really useful. Jake is a big tactile person, so he needs to see the thing on his face in order to tell if he likes it, and ended up getting 2 pairs.
Awesome. And you can even get like blue light filtering lenses for those of us who spend a lot of time in front of computers. Anyway, awesome stuff. That's warbyparker.com/spirits to order your free home try-ons today.
Amanda, it is hot outside, but I am still plowing through 2015 with the help of Care of.
Tell me how.
So Care of is a subscription service that delivers vitamins and supplements customized to your specific health needs. You just take this short quiz online. It's really easy. It's really useful. They ask you questions about your lifestyle, your fitness and health goals, and then they put together a personalized plan for you in these little packets of vitamins that you take daily. And you know what's really cool? They just updated this recently. They now have compostable packets instead of just piling on plastic and hoping they'll recycle. You can compost them instead. That's so cool. I really appreciate a company that really thinks about that kind of thing. Plus, Care of is looking out not only for the environment, but for you. With the quiz, it helps you focus on things like how much sleep you're getting, or if you're looking for more energy, they'll help you out with that too. It's really, really useful in focusing on your exact needs and helping you kind of solve the problems that you're having. The best part is if your goals change, you can modify your subscription at any time when your needs or preferences change. So if you decide you're focused on one thing for the summer, but then fall, you want to focus on something else, easy to change, easy to retake that quiz and be like, hey, I want to sleep better this fall. And Care of is like, yo, we got you.
Or if you need more energy as the light starts going away, like that's really real.
Yeah.
Like that's really real.
And the nice part is that Care of makes sure that you know what you're putting in your body and that it's coming from the best sources backed by honest guidance and transparency, which are all available to you via their website. So transparent, good for the environment, good for you. Care of, fantastic. So for 25% off your first Care of order, you can go to takecareof.com and enter the promo code SPIRITS.
That's takecareof.com, promo code SPIRITS.
Thanks, Care of.
And speaking of the seasons changing, Jules, I don't know about you, but I'm super weirded out by the fact that it's light at like 9 p.m. right now.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is really weird. And as a person who struggles with sleep a lot, it is kind of disconcerting to have your routine thrown off, which is why I'm so glad that Calm is a part of mine. You know how much I love those sleep stories. There are ones about rivers. There are ones about trains. There are ones about walking through a lavender field. There's fiction. There's fairy tales. It's so awesome.
I love these basically adult bedtime stories. They're fantastic, and I want to listen to them even when I'm not sleepy.
Absolutely. And Calm also has all kinds of like meditations and soundscapes. You can play the sound of like rain or a field or a forest as you're trying to get to sleep, or to focus or to read or to stay zen in a stressful situation like, I don't know, a packed commuter train going to the Hamptons at like 4 p.m. on a Friday.
Yeah, you need that sometimes. And maybe you just want to take a nap on that train. And then you're like, Stephen Fry, tell me about that lavender field.
And Calm can help you seize the day and sleep the night, which is an adorable catchphrase.
I really like that. So right now, Spirits listeners can get 25% off a Calm premium subscription at calm.com/spirits.
That's calm.com/spirits. 40 million people have downloaded Calm, and you can find out why at calm.com/spirits. Now, Julia, I could tell from the way that this email, it was like Mark read in our inbox, so I know that you clicked on it, and I know why. Because the title is Weird Dream Sharing and Zelda Fitzgerald, the Ghostly Wingman, parentheses, Eric Safe.
I did totally click on that one. You got me there.
And
I haven't clicked on this one. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm excited.
this comes from AJ, and they write, I've been an avid fan and Spirits listener for almost 3 years now, and I've shared your amazing podcast with virtually everyone I've met in that time. Excellent. Thank you, AJ.
Thank you. Doing the best.
These are a few of the weirder moments in my life. I finally decided to write in when I heard a listener story where someone else talked about having predictive dreams. Mine aren't exactly the same, but I've always thought they were pretty cool. For one thing, my whole family has had them. My dad used to tell me and my sister about the times in his life when he had dreams about getting lost in an unfamiliar neighborhood with his old friend, only to have it happen to him the very next day. The first time he just thought it was funny, and the third time he was actually able to find his way back to where they were going by following what he had done in his dream the night before.
That is very cool.
It's terrifying. How can you explain that?
Oh, I'm not terrified. I am fascinated.
That's yeah, you're right. You're right. I think I said creepy, but I meant cool.
We know that there's a fine line between those things.
Oh, we sure do. We sure do. So that story always fascinated me. And of course, I thought of it when my sister had a dream predicting the end of our favorite video game. Now, listen, people, I don't know how old Halo 3 is or if people still care about it, but you might want to skip forward about 60 seconds if you do. We grew up loving the Halo franchise, and when Halo 3 was coming out, we were both in elementary school. Okay, so pretty old then. My sister had a dream 2 months before the release date that one of the main characters would get killed by a spike gun, while she pointed her own guns at herself and another character. Turns out, that exact thing happened in a cut scene near the end of the game, except involving a different kind of spike gun than the one my sister had seen. There are two in the game because who plays games with only one spike gun?
It's true.
Does that like resonate with any Halo players here?
There's
I've watched
100%
Jake.
tracks. There's different spike guns.
Okay.
The Needler,
Okay.
which got significantly worse in Halo 3, but we won't
No,
get
it was way
into
better in
it
Halo
here.
2.
Yesterday, I shut down an office conversation about Star Wars movies versus one another because I was like, this discourse is on the internet for you guys. I don't need it in my office. Like, let's move along.
Damn, good choice.
All right. I personally have had two of these dreams that I can remember, and they have a kind of weirdish theme to them. The first one, only a few years ago, started like an entirely normal dream, as they always do, with me gathering TV characters and my own family to form a team to save the world from impending doom.
Very good. See, I love people who have like super intense but also ridiculous dreams because I'm like that. My dreams get very, very vivid very quickly.
I do like hearing about people's dreams, but I think it's only because you were the person whose dreams I heard for like a decade only. And I was like, well, every dream has to be this entertaining. They're not.
I've had a bunch of really wild dreams lately because Kelsey has a cold, so she's been coughing a bunch. So I've been taking like a melatonin to help me stay asleep throughout the night. And melatonin gives me just grade A weird stuff.
So does that
in the middle of
CBD
the night.
sleep juice that I use.
Nice.
Yeah.
I will say that Amanda once, I told her a dream that I had, and then she wrote a short story about it, and it made me cry.
It was very good.
It was when I was a superhero, and you're like, I'm just going to make this happen for you. And then I cried.
I'll try to find it. We'll post it if we have it. Check the
I think it
Insta.
was Paradox was the name we came up
Oh,
with.
shit. Yeah, that's right. Oh, my God. Is it on the computer?
Search
It's on the
Paradox and we'll eventually find Amanda's AO3 username. One day we'll figure it
computer.
out.
Don't worry,
Definitely
Julia.
fanfiction.net.
I have it, and it's in script format. I wrote it as a movie scene. And the line, it starts with the stage direction. Open. The Greco-Roman Sculpture Gallery in the Metropolitan Museum of Art, New York. Night.
Of course. Obviously. This was like senior year of high school, so we had no place else.
All right. Check the Insta, y'all. It'll be there. So AJ continues that they have had 7 different versions of this dream on 7 different nights.
That's too many times.
That's a lot.
At one point, I ran into an old friend I'd had from summer camp in one of these dreams, who I asked to join us in defending reality. The friend agreed and then told me, by the way, I go by Jamie now. I'm trans. To which I said, cool. And then we went back to saving the world. About a week later in the real world, my mom asked me if I remembered that exact friend from summer camp. When I said yes, my mom said, he just came out on Facebook as trans. His name is James. The second dream was almost exactly the same, except with a family member who came out to me a month and a half after I had the dream. The only difference was that the second time I got their name way more wrong than Jamie and James.
You are still a queer dream icon, and I appreciate you.
I really love it. One more weird dream thing. Last year, while I was living in the same dorm as my ex, he walked into... mistake number 1, by the way, AJ.
Yeah, don't do that.
Can't do that. Gotta run them out of house and home. Okay. So in one of my dreams, he walked into my room, asked me 2 questions, and then left. I don't remember what the questions were, but I do remember that when I was telling a friend about it the next day, she told me that my ex had the same exact thing happen in his dream last night and told her about it. I questioned him about this, and it turned out that he had dreamed the night before that he walked into my room, asked me 2 questions, and left. I'm not quite sure what to make of it, but maybe dream sharing is easier when 2 people are in the same building? I don't know. I just hope I'll have slightly more strange dream things happen, mostly because my regular dreams tend to involve a lot more apocalypse.
I appreciate the jam-pack action of your regular dreams, but these prophetic ones are also very, very cool.
So we now get into the Zelda part of things.
Oh, yes, I forgot about the Zelda part of things.
I forgot there was a whole nother second part. It's already so packed.
It is short but packed of stuff. This email's getting a little longer than I intended, so I'm going to save the Riverside Ragman for a later day and finish...
Hold on. Riverside Ragman?
Riverside Ragman.
Riverside.
I think we covered that in the live show that we did at the Brooklyn Horror Fest, Amanda.
That does sound familiar, but AJ, write in and tell us your version. We'd love to talk about it.
Yes, please.
Okay. So we'll finish on the time Zelda Fitzgerald tried to help me get it on. Okay, to be fair, I didn't know it was her, but I'd like to think that it was. The dorm my ex and I lived in was built on the lot where the asylum Zelda Fitzgerald had lived in and burned down. One of the employees
Zelda Fitzgerald burned it down herself?
No, Zelda had lived in that asylum.
I'm just curious. That sounds like something that she would do.
So, sadly, one of the employees had locked all of the patients' rooms and set the building on fire. 6 people died, including Zelda herself. Someone apparently decided that it would be a good idea to then build a lot of schools there. Seriously.
Sure. It's New York. It's real estate. Baby.
Over the years, people reported seeing her spirit walking down the halls, sometimes at night. They said you could hear a woman's laugh sometimes when no one else was there, or the click of a lock when nothing had been locked, or even the sound of a match being struck. Creepy.
Creepy. Super creepy.
I have no idea if any of that was true, but I do know what I saw. It wasn't much really, but I still think about it. Right around the time my ex and I started hooking up, we were kind of making out in the common room, as you do, when suddenly there was a loud slam. We jumped and tried to figure out what had happened, and we saw one of the largest books on a nearby bookshelf had hit the floor. The floor in the middle of the room. The floor a full 1.5 feet away from the shelf.
Too far. Don't like.
Just as I picked it up, a staff member walked in to check on something in the room. Neither of us had heard them coming at all. We looked to put the book back and realized it hadn't even fallen from the edge of the shelf. It had been tucked snugly in the middle, and 2 other books on either side of it had been knocked off by the force of whatever moved it.
Zelda didn't want you getting caught.
Both of those had landed normally on the floor beneath the shelves. I like to think that whoever did this was trying to be a bro and warn us so we didn't get in trouble rather than trying to get us to stop. I think Zelda Fitzgerald may have been that kind of friend, and I can't help but hope that it was her.
I support it.
The friend here, it's obviously not Zelda Fitzgerald. It's clearly Matthew McConaughey from Interstellar.
You're the worst.
Vague spoilers for Interstellar there, but if you've seen Interstellar, A+ joke right there for y'all, for Interstellar heads.
All 5 of you. Cool. And AJ closes with a PS. Normally, I wouldn't, Julia, put in front of you episode requests because I know that you catalog them and run them against your list. But I love the way that AJ phrased this. Are there any plans for a vampire roundup in the future? Please, I'm a desperate bisexual.
I understand, AJ.
AJ,
Same.
Me too. Same.
You know who else requested that? Me and Julia's Lyft driver in Portland.
Forgot about that.
Tell me all about it.
She likes the Vampire Diaries.
We now have 2 requests for vampire roundups.
We'll work on it, y'all. We'll work on it.
You know the Pacific Northwest, they love their vampires.
Horny for vampires.
Just horny
It's
for
true.
vampires. Yeah.
And vampires are horny for everything, according to the recent round of films.
Sure.
I've got a story that is not about vampires, but is about the time Ty saw a demon.
Ooh. Ooh.
What up, Ty? Tell us about your
Tell
demon.
me.
Ty writes, "Hey, Spirits Gang. I've been wanting to write in for a while, but couldn't decide which story to tell. Here's
Tell
the
'em all.
thing.
Tell 'em all, Ty.
Send multiple emails. That's what you got to do. Just write them all out, split them up into a bunch of emails, and send them.
Yep.
Send them one a day. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, and everywhere I've lived, and most of the places I've worked, have been haunted."
Ty, we're making some decisions here with your life, and I just want you to sit here for a moment, think about them, and then move on.
They were probably all Italian restaurants, as we know.
As we know,
Haunted
spaghetti.
places.
Haunted as hell.
I have tons of stories to share and might write back with some others eventually. Might write back?
Ty, you insult us.
I mean, I don't want to tell you what to do, but you should write back. But today, I want to share the story of the time I saw a demon. We moved into this house when I was 2 years old. My younger sister and I were given the entire upstairs for a kid's paradise.
Oh no,
Like
already
a
bad.
huge mess of toys.
This, as we learned from the last one that we did, the upstairs paradise is where the creepy clown is hiding.
Yep.
And it's going to become your imaginary friend who's actually real.
Don't do that.
Let's not put that on other people.
I'm
I don't want
just
to put
saying.
that mojo onto
Just
other
learn
people.
from other people's mistakes is all I'm saying.
Okay, fair enough. I took the smaller room because it looked like the Powder Puff Girls room, and I was more of a style than a space kind of kid.
Cute.
Nice.
One night, not long after we had moved in, I saw a man in the corner of my room. I was freaked because the thing wasn't really a man. It was something else, something worse. I don't remember much of my childhood, so lots of the details are lost to time. But I do remember this spirit. It didn't look human. It stood in the corner of my room and pointed a long finger at me. Its nails were long and uncut, and its skin was a faded, dark bluish color.
Interesting.
It's probably just like an elf from World of Warcraft.
All right, there we go.
Or Jim.
Solved it.
The entire figure was shrouded in darkness, and though I couldn't see its face, I got the distinct feeling that it was laughing at me. That's the
That's
detail that
bad.
made me pick the email, because I hated it so much.
Don't like that. Don't like it at all.
Naturally, I got the hell out of there. I ran down to my parents' room and told them there was a man in my room laughing at me.
Terrifying.
They freaked out, but my dad is a preacher, so he had an idea of how to handle it. Now, this is the second part that made me choose to read the email, because as some listeners know, I was studying to be a pastor for like three and a half years in college. And let me tell you, unless it was a capstone course that I didn't take, they don't tell you what to do about a laughing person in your child's room anywhere else in the curriculum.
That's your final. That's what they teach you last.
Yeah, it's like the Kobayashi Maru, right? Where they don't teach you how to solve it. They just teach you the wisdom that you need to know that you can't solve it.
This is the nerdiest shit you've ever said on this podcast.
Thank you.
That's 100% not true. There's no way that is the nerdiest shit. I don't have a good counter argument about what is the nerdiest shit that's been said on the podcast, but there's no way it's the Kobayashi
I think it's
Maru.
got to be top 10, though.
Oh, well, top 10. We're expanding a lot from
Okay,
number 1
sorry.
to the top 10.
In recent memory, that is the nerdiest shit you've said on this podcast.
Listen.
They went with me up to my room and prayed for my protection. Weird that they brought her up immediately. Like they did check it out without the child in tow.
That's bad.
I'm not here to preach the idea of prayer because personally that's not my jam. But from that day on, I never saw him again. I still felt him and stuff always disappeared in that corner. But I couldn't see him. I could ignore it and a lot of other creepy stuff happened in that house. But that was by far the scariest.
As a parent, your kid says a man's in my room. Would you rather it be a demon or a person?
That's neither.
Right?
Okay, no, this is a
it's
good
a
one.
real
This is a
head
good one.
scratcher.
This is a
The
good one. We're a
answer's
bit
neither.
short on time, so we might as well really
Dig into
consider
this
this.
one.
Okay, if I'm a preacher, it becomes harder
Yeah.
because now I believe in demons.
Uh-huh.
And obviously there are creepy people out in the world.
Right.
So let's take it from this specific situation. It's a real tough one. I feel like person is worse, and here's why. A demon you can use, you have God on your side against the demon. And there's a supernatural element. It might not be able
On
to
both
physically
sides.
do something, But a creepy guy is there for sure, and you need the cops more than God in that situation.
That's true.
So I feel like that is 100% worse.
Yeah, I think I gotta go with demon over creepy dude.
So you're doing the opposite. You're doing the opposite of me.
I'm saying I would rather it be a demon than a creepy dude.
Oh right, yeah, that was the question. I forgot what the question was.
Just the tangibility of a creepy man is so much worse than the intangibility of a demon, in my opinion.
You know, I currently have a worldview that does not accommodate real demons. So I think I would rather deal with an intruder for which I feel like I have a plan than rethink my whole thing. So I think I'm going to vote I'd rather be man.
Okay.
I feel like I've seen enough horror and paranormal films that I could fake my way through an exorcism if I really needed to. The demon probably doesn't know the difference. It's probably fine.
Yeah. Word.
Ty also included a few pictures of their dog, which we are pulling up now. Live reaction.
Oh no! What a good pup.
Mia got one of those little things full of whipped cream from the Starbucks.
Yeah,
very
she
good.
has a very good malem, a little tongue hanging out. Oh,
very good. She's got like human hair, like she's one of those dogs that has like the human hair, but like on just the ears.
She looks like a Tresemme like influencer.
She does. That one picture, just I want that
like
hairstyle.
A Tresemme influencer.
Love it.
I don't know if they do influencer marketing, but it feels like they must, right?
Everyone does influencer marketing.
Yeah. All right, Julia, how about you take us home with our final urban legend?
Sure. Would you prefer
Love a choice.
Summer camp with a giant lynx monster or a 500-year-old boarding school with secret underground tunnels?
Oh.
I'm going to defer to Amanda, but I would vote underground tunnels.
I agree. It's hot outside and I want to be in that dank cool.
Tight. Well, if you are a patron for spirits, you can hear about the apocalypse lynx named Kitty another time. So this comes from listener Jess, and Jess writes, I don't really have any from my... I'm just going to read the whole thing. Hey guys, I've been listening to the podcast for a couple months now in a haphazard listening order, the best way to listen to spirits in my opinion.
Yeah, no worries.
And I've been particularly loving the hometown urban legends sections. I don't really have any from my hometown, but thankfully I did go to a very old, very weird English boarding school, which had ghost stories to spare.
Fuck yeah.
All right, Meta gave me the rock out across the table there.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Most of the ghost stories are fairly bare bones. With it being such an old institution, there have been a number of deaths, so just about every house had a ghost of a teacher or a student who is rumored to still walk the halls. The one I find the creepiest was the boy that hanged himself from the chapel bell, and the whole school had been woken up to the relentless chiming of the bell in the dead of night. Whew. You can see the knot in the bell rope where a new rope was attached, giving a particularly creepy credence to the legend. I love physical aspect of legend. Very good.
Obviously, it's a tragic and sad scenario, but those are very good creepy details.
Yes, I appreciate it. However, no doubt the most enduring of these scary stories was that of the Blue Nun. Every girl's house in the school would claim that the Blue Nun was one of their own, and her story was one of the few told to new pupils. In parentheses, they're called squits. I don't know why, but I'm very interested in that etymology of that thing. Okay. These were scared little 11-year-olds, most away from home for the first time, and by their squitmas, which girls in the year above would be tasked to look after a particular newbie.
That's extremely good.
What squitmas was. Oh my god. Legend had it that the Blue Nun had been an old house parent, basically a teacher that would act in lieu of a parent while you were in school, assigning chores, making sure you did your work and cleaned your room, etc. In the school's early days, a lot of the house parents were religious figures like priests, monks, and nuns, as the school was super religious, and the Blue Nun was no exception. But for the fact that she had made a deal with the devil.
What?
The worst thing to make a deal with.
Especially as a nun.
Like nuns have made a deal with God. That's the whole point.
That's the whole point. They didn't do it.
That's the whole thing.
If you're reading good omens are watching the TV show. Then those ones didn't, but
I mean, they weren't.
Most
They were
of
just
them.
posing as nuns, though.
no, they were a like satanic religious order.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, so there was never any mention of what the nun got out of this deal, but in exchange for whatever devilish reward she'd wanted, she was tasked with marking souls for death and damnation. On one particular night in the first term, I want to say it was around the start of October, she would mark one new squit with an inverted cross upon their forehead. A black cross meant they were to soon die of a heart attack, red for fever, in later years cancer, because we figured out how to treat most fevers, blue for drowning, and white for suicide. Once the squit woke and found themselves marked, they would die in 7 days. It's always 7 days.
I know.
I just like the roundness of the week, I suppose.
I do find a week to be pretty poetic, but listeners, pay attention next week because we do talk about like when you're foretelling and or doing something, dooming. Do you give people a day's warning? Do you give them no warning? Like, what is the plan?
I feel like with 7 days, it kind of builds up the suspense of it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, now you got to think about you got 7 days to live. What you gonna do?
I just pictured like a Bruce Willis movie cover of him like running away from death. Like instead of an explosion behind him, it's like a Grim Reaper. I think that would be great.
I mean, this is just the plot of Final Destination and also The Ring, right?
Yeah,
Neither.
basically.
more or less.
Nope. Neither for me.
Amanda's like, nope, never gonna happen. Sorry. Let me finish this email and then we can talk more about those things. So Jess continues, now, I don't know if the blue nun was ever a real person, and while there were a number of unconfirmed sightings of a dark-robed figure at the end of the corridor that I never saw myself, I do have a direct experience with Blue Nun Night, though not a supernatural one. I was woken on Blue Nun Night to a wet, sticky feeling of something on my forehead, but when I screamed and slammed my light on, it wasn't the nun, it was my squitmas. Or squitma. It was my squitma. And all of the girls from the year above who quickly ran back to their own dorms. I went to wash off my face and I found a wonky inverted cross drawn in red lipstick.
That's extremely cute. Also very Parent Trap.
Yeah. And the next year, I helped spread the story and marked my own squit. Sorry, Catherine.
Oh.
P.S. There's not much to say about this one, but we did have weird tunnels built to link all of the houses and provide a evacuation point built pre-World War II. And during my time at the school, our school reverend went down there to do an exorcism. To be honest, the true danger down there was the asbestos.
Oh.
It's very good.
What more can I add? That was perfect.
It was very, very good. I really liked that one.
Well, lessons learned from this urban legend roundup, y'all?
Yeah, I think so. Lessons learned are sorry, I did not realize what I thought. I thought you were saying lessons learned, and I was like, "Yep,
It's okay.
You're
Certainly
asking
were.
what kind of lessons?" Lessons are that kids remain champions of creepiness
Mhm.
It's
for
true.
sure. That's number one with a bullet.
I think Jess taught us that you need to perpetuate your own mythologies for as long as possible and do your part to scare younger children.
That's true. And Kai is a master entrepreneur in taking creepy moments and turning them into opportunities to spread the word about spirits.
True.
I think from a narrative point, calling people survivors is very good, even if no one dies in your story.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Because it immediately ramps it up. Because like as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna go places." And then it does go places, but none of those places involve death. And I was like, this is gonna get them real good. This is gonna get everybody really
We're
good.
all
does definitely
survivors
stick.
of yesterday. You know what I mean?
And we're going to survive today.
We are. All right. Well, thank you again, everybody. And remember,
Stay creepy.
stay cool. Thanks again to our sponsors. At warbyparker.com/spirits, you can order a free home try-on kit today. At takecareof.com, you can use promo code SPIRITS for 25% off your first order. And at calm.com/spirits, you can also get 25% off a Calm premium subscription. Spirits was created by Amanda McLaughlin, Julia Shafini, and Eric Schneider, with music by Kevin MacLeod and visual design by Allison Wakeman.
Keep up with all things creepy and cool by following us at Spirits Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr. We also have all of our episode transcripts, guest appearances, and merch on our website, as well as a form to send us your urban legends at spiritspodcast.com.
Join our member community on Patreon, patreon.com/spiritspodcast, for all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff. Just $1 gets you access to audio extras with so much more available too. Recipe cards, director's commentaries, exclusive merch, and real physical gifts.
We are a founding member of Multitude, a collective of independent audio professionals. If you like Spirits, you will love the other shows that live on our website at multitude.productions.
And above all else, if you liked what you heard today, please share us with your friends. That is the very best way to help us keep on growing.
Thank you so much for listening. Till next time.